Thanks for listening. This is part 2 of Suzanne's journey of leaving her job for her family.
Kids watch. Moms talk. MomGamers.
And we're going to continue with Suzanne's journey. So Suzanne, you were talking about pretty much what made you leave Apple, being a paralegal, all in a nutshell. And you're still in the Bay Area. Can you continue on? What happened afterwards?
So afterwards, my family and I, my husband and I, we realized if we stayed in the Bay Area, we would need to continue working. And so I'm from Minnesota, and my dad has a couple of properties here. So one of them was going to be vacant in the following months after I had decided or had the intention of leaving my job. And so we did talk to him as to whether we could come and stay there. And this then would require a move across the country. And we also had some money and savings. I've, since graduating from college, have been really good at saving money. And so we knew we had the means to make this big move, and that moving to Minnesota would also cut a lot of our expenses. And I guess once I decided that this was a for sure thing, that I really wanted to spend this at least a year with my daughter while she was a baby. Once I had decided that, then everything kind of just came together. My dad had this property that we could stay at. You know, I ended up telling my boss a month, I think, before we made the move. And I also offered to continue working for them remotely, which they did accept. And that also helped us a ton in terms of income. So I worked for them for 3 months while I was in Minnesota until they can find a replacement for me. Yeah. So that was huge. And I think
that worked out great.
Yeah, it worked out great. And that's one of the biggest things is never burn bridges. You know, even though I wasn't satisfied with my job, I still loved all of my coworkers. My manager was great. And
you're grateful for...
Yeah, I'm so grateful. Exactly. I'm grateful for the experience. And I was questioning whether I should even extend myself to work remotely. But, you know, why not if they're willing to let me? So I figured I'd just put the offer out there. And at first he did say no, they wouldn't. But then later he came back, you know, saying probably would be better until they actually found someone. So you just never know. And yeah, once I told my boss, then we knew it was a for sure thing that we were definitely going to move. And it wasn't just, you know, me wishing that I had more time. I knew that I was going to get the time. And then, yeah, we just basically started packing up and going from there.
Okay, so you're here. You left the beautiful Bay Area.
I know.
With all their wonderful, you know, all the different foods and the diversity over there, up to the great Midwest.
Yeah, it is a huge change, but also I had been living in San Francisco for 13 years. So I kind of felt like my time there was like I had a great, such a good time there. You know, I spent over a decade of my life there, and I think that says a lot for me. And it is a beautiful place, but it's also not the most family friendly. And so, and who knows, you know, maybe there will be a time when we move back there. But I also knew that during this transition of my life that I wanted to remove myself from what I was familiar with in order to have the pause in my life. I guess this is what I've called this time, is a time for me to pause and reflect and really determine how I want to live the next parts of my life.
I just want to let you know that Suzanne is much younger than me, and she is like this 80-year-old wise grandma that I'm getting all this wonderful wisdom from. That is great, Suzanne. So you're here, you're living your life. How do you feel? Any regrets? Are you glad that you've done this so far? How do you feel?
I am so happy that I made this decision, but I'm not going to say that has been easy. You know, moving with 2 kids definitely like there's definitely things that it's not easy just on the family itself. It's not easy for your marriage when you're rearranging your whole life around and then having to get used to, even though I lived in Minnesota all my life growing up until I went to college, everything has changed. So just getting used to all of that, it's not easy, but at the end of the day, I am so happy that I did it, because if I didn't, I think I would have just continued going through the motions of life and not really being awake and paying attention. So I am grateful, but it definitely isn't easy. And there are moments where I am uncomfortable and I do feel like I should go back to work, especially because I've been working since I was 14. So not having a conventional job really, it takes some getting used to. Even now, I'm a freelance writer now, but I haven't worked at a 9-to-5 job for almost 2 years now. But there are still moments where I feel uncomfortable with that.
That's amazing. What a big shift, risk, change you're taking with small children. If anything, usually it's very much the opposite, where we're trying to get all our eggs, our ducks in line in a row, whatever that phrase is. We're trying to make things right. And yet you're taking this quite counterintuitive approach. So if anything, what is the biggest takeaway? And I think by that I mean you're talking about living life with intention, being awake. What are some things you have discovered about yourself, or being a mother, or being a wife, or being Suzanne? What have you discovered so far?
I think the biggest thing that I have discovered on this journey is that I started this journey. I wanted to be intentional with my life. And I also realized that what I wanted was truth. I wanted the truth about what is the true way to live. And as I was seeking that truth, what I found is that everything that you need is within you. Joy, happiness, peace, freedom. And most of us look outside of ourselves for that. And so through this journey, that's been my biggest realization, is that whatever I'm seeking is already within me. I just have to find it.
Very sweet. Do you think you said that people could say that you have made a choice, or that you have exercised your agency? Would that be another way to say it too?
What do you mean by that?
That happiness and joy can be found within yourself, should you choose to see it that way. And I'm saying that another phrase is you're exercising agency or choice within yourself.
Yes.
To know that it's there.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Suzanne. I am learning so much, especially from this very, less conventional way of living, especially with a family. And just to illustrate, I think my husband and I, we live a typical life, a conservative sort of life. And many people I know too are in the grind. They're working, they're saving, they're spending, they're doing things, and it's wonderful to see something very different. And not that you just did this blindly, but you put a lot of thought into this. And I really enjoyed hearing your story. And I'm really eager to see where it takes you.
Me too. Thank you.
Thanks, my dear. Well, this is MomGamers. Thanks for tuning in. Please hit the like button and subscribe. I would love to hear any comments, especially from you moms. I know that some of you work, some of you are at home, some of you do both, and I would love to know what your thoughts are on this. Take us with you on your smartphone anytime, and have a great day. Bye.